Taking the name back, okay. Well, I'll buy that. Charlotte Flair, Bayley, Nia Jax, Alicia Fox, and of course Sasha Banks with Dana Brooke. I take it she's going to be out there, and probably her and Natty will be getting into it maybe. Up against Team SmackDown, which is led by the captain of Nikki Bella, Becky Lynch, Alexa Bliss, Carmella, and Naomi, who, you know, it's slightly weaker on their side by quite a bit there, Matt, isn't it? I mean, to say slightly, it's quite a seesaw, really, if you think about it, especially the way Nia Jax has been booked. But how do you think it's going to go, Matt? And you're hoping that it's, you know, because we're coming off of Charlotte Flair and up against Sasha at the Hell in a Cell, and you know, you look at where they've come from to what SmackDown have been doing. It's quite a bit of a jump, isn't there?
Yeah. I think as far as predicting how this match is going to go, I'm going to have to retract my previous statement and go with SmackDown to win the tag team match, because I don't think we're going to get 2 straight Raw wins and then take the pay-per-view before the main event. I would heavily go with Raw ahead of the tag team, right? Well, on the women's side, ahead of the tag team one. So if they were going to go that way, I'd have to say that SmackDown would win the tag team one. But yeah, so I think Raw will get the win on the women's division side of things, because their team is so superior, isn't it? We've got Charlotte, who's so dominant. Bayley, who, like, we know her potential, but has been held down a little bit. So I'm hoping maybe we can see a bit more from her. And Sasha, you know, if they're all on the same page, you only need them 3. You don't even need to mention Nia Jax, who they've been booking incredibly dominant on, like, the last month or so. When she's come up and, like, even fighting people like Sasha and Charlotte herself and that, she's just been squashing people. And when they did that whole women versus, like, when they did the invasion of SmackDown, she was squashing people. She looked strong. So it's, you know, it's heavily Raw biased, I've got to say. And I'll go one step further in this as well. If I say Raw's going to win, I'll make myself look a complete fool, probably get it wrong, but I'll say Charlotte will be the sole survivor of this. Yeah,
well, fair enough. Yeah, it's a pretty bold prediction. I guess we don't really know what order this is going to be in. I mean, we're thinking that it's going to be, you know, Owens and AJ and all that, you know, at the end. But they could do it the other way, Matt. They could have the women in between, and that could be, you know, somewhere. I mean, nobody really knows the placement. I mean, everybody's kind of expecting Brock and Goldberg at the end, and I would imagine it's that. But you never know. They could actually stretch to having, you know, the Owens and AJ sort of Survivor Series match right at the end of the show. That's another way they could go. It all depends on how they're booking that Lesnar Goldberg match, but so it's hard to tell without seeing the order, because you never know. It could come down to the women's, which side it goes to, couldn't it, man? That could be like an underdog kind of story going on there, and you know, SmackDown might get a win. But I'm like you, I've still got to say I'm gonna have to go with Raw. I mean, I just can't see how the others would do it, but you know, I think there's room to make people, like in Survivor Series matches over the years, they always seem to like do well at making stars. So I would expect if Charlotte is going to be a survivor, I would expect that they might keep out Nia Jax as well as a survivor. I've got a feeling something will happen there. But and you know, there might be a stare down at the end, that kind of thing, to set up something. But on the other side, you know, if SmackDown are getting beat, expect Nikki Bella to be out quite early, I would imagine, and expect someone like Carmella or Alexa Bliss to kind of hold in there for a lot longer, because I think that's traditionally the way they work it into people they want to get over for the future. So be interesting nonetheless how that goes. I'm strictly very much Raw for that one. Hopefully it goes well for them, Matt. I think we hope for that. Okay, well, let's go with Team Raw against Team SmackDown again, and this is in the Back to the Males, and of course the more single style. And we've got the Kevin Owens, Chris Jericho, our buddy Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman, who this is his first pay-per-view match since he's the brand split, so this is a quite big thing for him. And Seth Rollins up against Team SmackDown, which now includes AJ Styles, Dean Ambrose, Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton, Shane McMahon with James Ellsworth. So he's involved somewhere here. How's this played out for you, Matt? First of all, let's talk about the idea that it's Shane McMahon. Are you like me, Matt? I'm kind of like I love Shane-O, but come on, I mean this is pathetic, isn't it? I mean this is getting ridiculous when he's now involved in this, and I'm thinking to myself like, what next? What are they going to do next here? And who's he going to get one up on over on the Raw side here? There's going to be something. You just know there is. He's either going to get absolutely decimated by Braun Strowman or something, but I have no idea. But what's your take on having him in there, Matt? And surely there was more candidates. I would have even preferred James Ellsworth, quite frankly.
Yeah, I really wish he wasn't in it. When they said that Corbin was out and they were looking for a replacement, I had number one in my head I was thinking, it's The Miz. They're going to have to do a thing now where Daniel Bryan has to go and request help from The Miz after all this heated argument they've had. He's going to actually have to humble himself. But no, he wouldn't do that. It was Shane McMahon, wasn't it? And I was thinking, really? For one thing, okay, yeah, he's been in the ring and proven himself quite a bit, but he should not be able to compete with guys younger than himself, doing this week in, week out.
Sure.
And if you saw did you see that State of the Universe thing that came on after Raw?
No, I missed that. I have not seen that.
They went into a whole thing. Mick Foley made some excellent points that Stephanie did, saying that, what an ego trip. It doesn't send a great message, when you're putting yourself ahead of your own sort of talent.
True, it's a great point. It's a great point.
Yeah. So that is, I think it's awful really to actually do that. I don't think there's any reason for Shane to be in there. I would have said The Miz deserved it a hell of a lot more. Yeah,
I'm with you there. I just don't know. It's flashbacks of WrestleMania for me on this one. I'm not saying it's going to be the centre of attention, but he kind of is going to be the centre of attention. It's going to take steam off some of these other guys in it.
Wasn't he in the Alliance one as well, when it was Alliance versus WWE?
Yeah, I can't remember if he was in...
I think it's a common reoccurring theme.
Yeah.
Getting into these matches. And the worst thing is, he'll probably be in the last two on SmackDown.
Oh, God. That'd be terrible. Yeah, I mean, again, a lot of this is about, people getting on with people. We've seen, surprisingly, Seth Rollins and Roman, who I had slight suspicions about that they're going to have some sort of reunion. But do you sense there might be a moment, Matt, where all S.H.I.E.L.D. are going to be involved and there might be like we're all going to get on well now in that somewhere? And also thinking about old alliances, Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman with Randy Orton, is there going to be something... Because I've got a feeling they're setting a lot of stuff up here to pay off. And first of all, also, what about this whole Randy Orton business, Matt? I can't say I've seen all of what's been going on, but people have been saying, this is a weird concept, and what is the whole thing here with Randy Orton? What is it WWE are going for with Randy doing this, Matt? And is it odd to you that they're now they're back in the whole Bray Wyatt mode, but I mean, how's it all working for you with Randy Orton involved with the Wyatts?
Well, I think it would be nice if they explained it. They haven't said any reason why Randy Orton did this. Well, not that I've really noticed. They had that whole feud, and then one day Randy went, well, you know what, I'm bored of that. I just think I'd rather work with the guy. Which didn't really sound like something Randy Orton would do.
Yeah.
He's more of a leader than a follower, and even more than leader, more of a loner. So that really didn't sit well with me. And I think they built up this kind of thing. It almost kind of reminds me when Daniel Bryan was forced to be a member of the Wyatt family.
Yeah, good point.
Without the negativity of the crowd or the adverse reaction, there's nothing holding them back but just going, yeah, we'll just leave it that way for a while. But they're going to get Braun Strowman in the ring versus Randy Orton, aren't they? They're going to have that face to face, like who's better, like the new student or the old student.
Yeah, what's worrying about that is if they do that, then surely, I mean, I don't know where they're going with it, but I mean, it's just very odd. The only way I see this is that there's a very long-term plan where Bray's going to fight Randy again, and there's going to be the split. But man, it's like it's been done already, we've already seen it with Daniel Bryan. You can almost foresee this. It's not something that people even want to see because there's no real read. They have not explained this turn at all well. It's just absolutely done terrible, really. So the payoff to Randy sort of splitting away from Bray won't be that great as what WWE is probably thinking it's going to be. But I'm sure there is that down the line for them to do. Not a massive fan of that. Here's something else I'm not a massive fan about this feud is that I hate it whenever they stick SmackDown shirts or Raw shirts on the talent. Like, come on, we know who's who. We're not, I know they're trying to put it down our throats how much they care about it, but especially when you have to see guys like Bray Wyatt, his character does not suit that wearing that attire. Why are they not doing quality control? Hang on a minute, this character, he wouldn't do this. He wouldn't even show up with these guys. How is he standing out there with them on Raw? That just totally threw me. I was just this is totally out of character. And now I'm really lost to the whole Bray Wyatt concept because when the brand split happened, Matt, I don't know about you, but I felt like they were changing him to a more wrestler. Then they went backwards, and now he's whatever they want him to be. I mean, there's no consistency at all. So, I'm not enjoying, again, it's terrible, really, because this time last year, Matt, he was doing the whole thing with The Undertaker and Kane, if you remember. And, we thought that might help, but it didn't. Now, the other sort of things to this, Dean Ambrose, Matt, who I think he's being around James Ellsworth's actually helped him out a little bit from the fans. I don't know about what you think about that, but it seems like he's back on side with them slightly.
Yeah, it's a good little combination they've got going there. And it almost makes you feel like Dean Ambrose would do well in the Survivor Series because Ellsworth is out there. Otherwise, why else have Ellsworth out there?
Yeah. Is there any chance, do you think, that perhaps there's going to be some shenanigans before the match and they have to call upon James Ellsworth to get involved in the match? Is that a possibility at all? Because I've this slight feeling there might be something happen where they're really desperate for somebody and it's going to go to him. But I mean, I might be reading between the lines, but I know he's going to be doing something out there. I have no idea what it will be, but he's going to be doing something. And because he's the baby face, he's not going to be cheating, is he? So I just got this feeling, that's all, that something might happen before the match. What's going to be interesting, Matt, is Kevin Owens and Jericho are in home territory, and I would expect them to be quite, pretty much cheered on, quite frankly, which probably won't be a bad thing because even AJ Styles, he's the heel on the other side, so it kind of makes sense. But on their side of things, Matt, I mean, we've got the whole Jericho Owens business going on. Like I say, Braun Strowman's probably the wild card in their team. I mean, out of everything on their side, is there anything that sort of stands out for you that anyone could be a sole survivor on their team? And who do you think's likely to go over on this altogether?
Oh, I think this is the one that's definitely going to have a lot of shenanigans going on. And this is another one of those ones where it could go either way because I know SmackDown is the weaker team because they've got Shane McMahon. But when you look at Jericho, Shane McMahon could eliminate Jericho. On the other hand, if they do a shock thing and they eliminate Kevin Owens, I could see Jericho just walking out and going with his best buddy, off to the locker room because he doesn't really care. And they have said sort of things like Stephanie said that their jobs would depend on it, and she didn't really elaborate anything more upon that. So I think that was kind of a pointless statement. Much like The Undertaker did on SmackDown when he said they'll have to answer to him. They didn't really explain why.
Yeah.
I think there's many room for shenanigans